Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Norjana Itubada from Bahis 3A, one of the reporter from Group 4, and my report topic is about the types of essay that measured complex learning outcomes, and the second one is the performance assessment tools. So, we have here a types of essay text item and example of complex learning outcomes that can be measured. So, we have here a restricted response essay items and the extended response essay items. So, itong dalawang ito is example of questions. So, in restricted response essay items, limited lang to siya, no? A narrowly defined skill and required relatively brief response. It has limited response and limited content and based on the specific problems. Like for example is yung questions dapat sasagutin siya in a specific answer din. Like for example ito is what are the five senses? So, ang sasagutin ng students is kung ano yung specific na sagot. Like for example, ang sagot niya is ang five senses is the sense of hearing, seeing, smelling, testing, and touching. So, in restricted response essay items, no, it has a ability to explain cause and effect relationships, describe application of principle, formulate valid conclusion, enumerate and explain method and procedure. While in extended response essay items naman is from the word extended means to make it longer, no? Kung dito sa restricted response essay items is limited lang siya, dito naman is wala siyang limit. It allows students a freedom to respond the answer extend several pages. So, in extended response essay naman is, for example, is yung questions is wala siyang specific na sagot. Like for example is, dun sa binigay ko na example about sa five senses, dito naman is, like for example is bakit tayo nakakarinig or bakit tayo nakakakita. So it depends on the students on how to answer that questions. Wala siyang limit. Wala siyang specific na answer. Kagaya din doon sa example dito sa books, kung what can you say about NATO's positions on the ISIS? So, it depends on the, wala siyang specific na sagot. It depends na lang sa students or for the, to the person on how to elaborate their answer. And dito naman sa extended response essay items, it also has ability to organize ideas, integrate learning, design an experiment, evaluate the worth of ideas. So, sa extended response essay items, no, parang kailangan siya ng analysis, no, pag-isipin kung ano yung isasagot doon sa question kasi nga wala siyang specific na sagot na yun talaga yung sagot. So, the second one is the performance assessment tools. So, the performance assessment tools, this will be the use in grading, in assessing a student's performance. So, we have here a three tools, which are the checklist, rating scale, and the rubrics. So, checklist. So, a checklist is a tool that consists of a list of qualities that are expected to be observed as present or absent. The presence is to be marked check and the absent is marked X. So, the checklist, no? Checklist usually offer a yes or no or check or X format in relation to students' demonstration of a specific criteria. They may be used to record observations of an individual, group, or a whole class. So, ang checklist, no? May example dito. So, as an observer, you have these questions given. So, dito sa checklist, no, yung teacher is, i-observe niya yung mga students niya. Lalagyan niya ng X or check. For example, no, example checklist on the use of microscope. Mayroon din ditong instructions. In its instruction, observe the students in a laboratory activity with the use of microscope. Check the items which you have seen which were done appropriately and mark X items which were not appropriately done. So, di ba, yung mga students is nasa laboratory and gagamit sila ng microscope. And then yung teacher is mag-o-observe siya. So, may mga given questions dito, 1 to 10, and then titignan ng teacher kung itong nasa questions is na-observe niya doon sa students. So, number 1 is wipes the slide with lens paper. So, kapag nakita ng teacher ito doon sa in-observe niya ni students, and then simply mark check or X kung nakita niya iyon. And then the second one is places drop or 2 of culture on the slide. So, it's up to you as teacher kung yung nandito sa questions is na-observe mo doon sa students. The third one is adds a few drop of water. The fourth one is places slides on the stage. Turn off low power lens. Looks through eyepiece with one eye. Adjust mirror. Turns high power lens. Adjust for maximum enlargement and resolution. And the last one is record result. So, ito yung example of the checklist. So, the next one is the rating scale. So, rating scale is a tool that uses a scale in a number line as a basis to estimate the numerical value of a performance or a product. The value is easier to score if the points are in whole number. The most popular rating scale is called Likert scale. So, ang rating scale, no, it is allows teacher to indicate the degree or frequency of the behavior, skills, and strategies displayed by the learner. So, ang rating scale, no, from the word rate. So, i-rate mo siya. I-rate mo siya kung gaano kaganda yung performance ng isang students. So, 1 as the lowest and then 10 as the highest. Kasi, mas madali kapag whole number na siya. May example dito, no? So, a rating scale for a science project. So, a science project. Ang instructions dito is, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 as the lowest and 10 as the highest score, rate the project of the following elements. Circle this choice of your answer. So, mayroon ditong 1 to 5 na parang nag-base dito yung teacher, no? So, based doon sa ginawa ng mga students na projects about science, and then i-rate ng teacher 1 to 10 kung gaano ba kaganda yung project na ginawa niya. So, the first one is they have clear purpose. So, kung yung ginawang performance ng students is may purpose. But then it's up to you as teacher kung ilan ang ibibigay mo na rate based doon sa purpose na ginawa ng students. The second one is are relevant to environment problem. So kung relevant siya, then it's also up to you as teacher kung ilan ang ibibigay mo na score, kung relevant ba siya or hindi. The third one is use local materials, show a collaborative work, and create a overall impact to humanity. So, another example nito is sa It's Showtime. So, most of us, no, familiar sa It's Showtime. So, di ba sa It's Showtime may mga hurados doon, and then may rate sila doon na 1 to 10. 1 as the lowest and 10 as the highest. So, yung mga performer doon is i-rate nila kung gaano ba kaganda yung pinerform nila. So, magbibigay sila doon ng itataas lang nila yung ratings, yung score nila. Kung yun ba ay maganda or kung may kulang. The third one is rubrics for portfolio. A portfolio is a compilation of the experiences as authentic learning outcomes presented with evidence and reflections. To assess the total learning experiences as presented in a holistic package, an assessment tool called rubrics is utilized. So, ang rubrics is a scoring tool that lists the criteria or what counts for a piece of work. And it is also measures student work against real-life criteria and is referred to as a form of authentic assessment. So, di ba ang portfolio is nagawa na natin way back nung high school pa tayo as the compilations of our works, no? So, yung rubrics is mayroon doon nagbe-base yung teacher based on scoring sa ginawa mong portfolio. So, this is the example of the rubrics. So, here's an example rubrics for field study course portfolio. As you can see, there are descriptions and numerical values for each criteria. So, the first one is the content of portfolio. So, meron ditong numbers, no? So, it is based on your ginawang portfolio. Ito yung basis ng grade sa ginawa mong portfolio. Kung yung content niya ba is maganda or may kulang. So, it depends kung gaano kang ganda yung content of your portfolio. 1, kung less than 40% needed in TARS. And 2, kung less than 15% of the needed course. And then 3, 4, and then 5 naman kapag has 95 to 100 needed content. And then the second one is the objective. So, dapat hindi lang doon sa content na dapat maganda. Of course, dapat doon din sa objective of your portfolio. And then, dito naman is same din doon sa content of the portfolio. Dito naman is 1, kapag most intended learning outcomes are not SMART. And then 2, 3, 4, 5 naman, it depends on the objective of your portfolio. And then 5 naman kung SMART, kung intended learning outcomes are SMART and cover the whole courses. And the same with quality of entires, presentation of entires, and promptness of your portfolio. So, I think that's all. Thank you and wassalam. Hope you may natutunan kayo.